Welcome back. This is episode 2. I am the Link Lord. We are playing Breath of the Wild. In episode 1, we started off the game. We went through the first shrine where we acquired Magnesis. I promise you, I've done nothing on the game since. So what we're going to do today is we are going to get the other 3 shrines, and we're going to get the heck off of this plateau. And yeah, we're going to have some fun. When I first began to play this game, obviously I was excited to play it. It's my favorite game, my favorite of all of them still. Well, not necessarily is still, but my favorite is this one. But it, second, a very close second is A Link to the Past for Super Nintendo. I love The Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Link's Awakening, The Oracle of Seasons, and not really precisely in that order, because obviously there's Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I love it. And yes, in case you are wondering, I am going to be doing run-throughs of every single Zelda that I can get my hands on. So, yeah. That's going to be fun. Think of it like each season of my show will be, more Link. I'm lover of all things Zelda, so. Alright. Now that shrine over there is a real pain, so we're going to head over there and do it. And we're going to fight a couple of people on my way there. What do I got for critters? Well, I'm not going to use any of the beetles. Because when you meet Beetle, he is going to want those. Maybe one of them, I don't know. You got to be careful with those, though. I cooked elixirs with them and I ruined them a few times. You got to be careful which monster parts that you use. And it's a pain, too, because when you get critters that are hard to find, and then you mess them up in an elixir, it isn't cool. And those of you who do not know what an elixir is, it's a potion. Those of you who are familiar with the Zelda franchise know that most Zeldas, at least all of the earlier ones, to get potions you usually had to go to a store or, one of those little places, whatever they called them in the game, and people would sell them to you. Usually for, 20 or 30 rupees. And stuff like that. That is not the case here. You collect critters, you collect bugs, you collect monster parts, plants, mushrooms. There's so much stuff that you find. If you see something that says take, just take it and look at it and see what the heck it is. If you don't need it, drop it. But I promise you, it will have a use to it. Yeah. We're going for that shrine that's right up there. That's what I want. And see all those guys? Now, this is why I said you want to treat this like Splinter Cell. Because you see that guy right there on that little tower? He is watching out. So you want to stay out of his line of sight. Now, if they happen to see you, there are indicators that they know you're there. If they hear you, a question mark will appear above their head, which means that they're a bit curious as to what the heck is going on. If they know something is there, an exclamation point will pop up, and it will be white. That's if they hear you and they know they definitely aren't losing their minds. It will then begin to turn yellow. Once the yellow gets to the top, that means that they know where you are, they know that they are being attacked, and they will sound off and call all their friends. Oh, shoot. See? But I think it was too late. Yep, it was too late. See? He got the chance to blow that stupid horn. If they blow that horn, their friends are alerted. See? This is where it can get frustrating. But I think I'm pretty good at this game. Bro. Well, this is the beginning, so yeah. You know how it is. You're going to get the tutorials, because this whole plateau is a tutorial. However, they're not playing with a noob. And that is also one of the good things I do like about this being my 4th run, is the fact that I'm not a noob. There's a lot of mistakes that I made as a noob. So, and one of them was I did not explore. Because I was so eager to just see the story, and I wanted to see Ganon, and I wanted to do all this and all that, and I just didn't care. And I followed the guide. Yeah. Alright. That's good. That's real. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Is there a fire over here? Yes, there is. Okay. See, I would have never thought of this as a rookie. My first run, I would have never thought of this. I would have walked over, got the friggin' shrine. It's worth the bee stings, I promise you. Yep, the stamella mushrooms, they fill up your stamina. Now, the bees can be a real nuisance, but they go and they leave. I mean, obviously, if you... Oh, I got bomb arrows on the plateau? That's cool. I think I might have genuinely forgot about that. Heck yeah. Alright. So, the mission here is to... Now, oh, wait a minute. There is a pot. I am going to show you a little something. Do I have apples? Of course I do not have apples. So, we need to go find some apples. But I think he's got some on his table. Now, at some point in time... Oh yeah, you're going to want these. There's a diary here. We're just going to speed on through it. Once you cook him the meal, he's going to give you the warm doublet. The warm doublet is going to make it so you can be in a colder region. Like I said, mushrooms are everywhere. Collect them. I promise you. Don't underestimate the value of anything. If you can collect it, collect it. Right here, this is a rush shroom. Haha, play on words, right? A rush shroom. So, if you cook 5 of those, it'll increase your movement speed. You only will find those on the side of mountains like I just found it. They are nowhere else. You only find them in things like this, where you have to climb up and get them. They are valuable though, I promise you, so they're worth it. Okay, so what just happened is that your weapons, they deteriorate, and eventually they break. When that happens, the weapon explodes. Oh, here we go. Also, if you find a chance to go hunting, take it, because, like I said, you have to cook him a meal where he will give you the warm doublet. However, if you're me, you're not going to need the warm doublet. And this is another reason I made the video, because there are certain things that were required in the, when you followed the guide And I was like, oh wow, well, you know, I should have did it like this. And it turns out I could have just did it like that. And yeah. And don't get me wrong, I am in no way at all discrediting the guide. The guide helped me tremendously. In fact, was ultimately the reason why I beat the game. I owe most of it to that. So again, I'm not trying to discredit it. There are just some things in the guide that they got wrong. Another thing is that when the enemies are sleeping, you have two opportunities. One, you have the opportunity to sneak up on them. And now if you have enough available weapon slots, you can literally hijack all their weapons. So when they finally do get up and run over to grab their weapons, they have nothing to use. You also can shoot a bee's nest if it's near them, because the bokoblins, or whatever they're, bokoblins, or bokoblins, we'll call them bokoblins, I think that's how you pronounce it. Like I said, I'm going to pronounce it as best I can. They don't wear clothing. So with that being said, if you shoot a bee's nest near them, the bees will begin to get ticked off, and they will swarm whatever the heck is nearby, and they so happen to be there, they will run away. Usually you want to do that if there's a treasure, or you just simply don't want to fight. Now allow me to explain why you won't want to fight, because as you kill these characters, they upgrade. Now at some point, you are going to notice a blood moon. A blood moon comes in the game every 3 days in this game. So what that is that all the enemies that you killed are then resurrected with the blood moon. So, no matter what you do, no matter how good you are, there will never come a point where you have killed everything in Haru. I know, it sucks. So with that being said, when you kill any enemy, they will be replaced eventually with higher grades. They go from red to blue to brown to silver. Now, when they become silver, and you kill them, they drop stones like diamonds, rubies. On my other character, I beat one and he dropped a diamond, which is like rare because they're like 500 rupees when you go sell them. Okay. See this here? We're going to explain something to y'all. That, okay, is the difference between climbing up a wall, getting halfway there, and falling all the way down to your certain and guaranteed death. Because with... Oh, let me see if I can make anything else while I'm over here. You know what? Yes. See these right here? These mushrooms are amazing for stamina. See that? It gives me a wheel and a half. What else I got? Alright, I'm going to leave everything else alone. Okay. See this? We're going to make an elixir. This is going to be a hasty elixir. Now, in case you're wondering how the heck I knew that, is because one, you know, I've played this a few times, and two, they're named a certain in accordance to what you cook. So if you want something like a chili elixir, that will make it so you're going to be going through a lot of regions. Which is another reason why you wanted to grab those peppers, because one of the shrines rests in a region where it's cold. Really freaking cold. And they made this game very weather-oriented. The weather affects you in far more ways than you know. It has a very lot of influence on the gameplay. It can be very inconvenient at times. And also, at times, it can work in your favor. For example, if it is downpouring and there are enemies nearby and you happen to have shock arrows, well, you see when it's wet, They're standing in literally a puddle. You shoot the puddle and it expands. Now, the guy, he's supposed to teach you, you know, how to knock this down. If only I could build a makeshift bridge and get across. Turn your waist and face the way you want. And then knock it down. There's an axe over here somewhere. Or in his cabin. That right there, what I just did. Learn from my mistake. There are some mistakes that I'm going to be glad that I'll make. That's one of them. Durability of your weapon. You always want to make sure you know the condition of it. If your weapon is about to break, it'll be glowing red. Which means you've used it too much, and the next 1 to 2 hits is going to cause it to, you know, say bye. Now, I know a lot of people complained about that, and in the beginning of the game, I complained about it. I didn't like it, because I was so used to just having a sword and going through an entire game with it. But that is in itself is, you know, unrealistic. And with them deteriorating, it gives you the opportunity to use a lot of weapons. It's cool. It really is. You just got to get used to it. It's a real journey. Now, they put a lot of things in place for things like what I'm doing right now. If you do certain stuff without being told to, there is things that the story will go in accordance with it. There's a couple things that I did on my third run, where she's like, if you did that without being told to, then because like I said, in the beginning of the game, you wake up out of a 100-year-old slumber. So your memory is a big part of this game. You have actually 12 memories that they want you to find, which we will be doing that on the 3rd episode or 4th. I'm going to be doing a few episodes tonight. Now, the term time flies when you're having fun definitely applies to this game. Time goes by like, whoa, when you are playing Breath of the Wild. I'm telling you. I've put in hours of this game. That whistle there I did by accident. That's when you get a horse. Now, when you see apples like that, do eat. Get them. I'm telling you, those come in handy. And not just from your stamina. They come in handy because they're good for your life. And you can carry along with them. Now, this shrine rests up here. You cannot, and I don't recommend dashing. So we're going to go through the tediousness. And I'm going to take this opportunity to school you to a few things. One, when you get stasis, that allows you to stop things. Eventually, you'll get the opportunity to upgrade that. When you do, I recommend doing it, because you'll then be able to stop your enemies in their tracks, and then you'll be able to attack them. Nothing more frustrating than some guy running at you with a giant broadsword, and you stop him right before he strikes you, and then decapitate him. I mean, this game does not show decapitations. It isn't like that. Your runes will come in handy. As, again, we're exploring. Curiosity. I'm telling you, just do it. If you see something, just go there, because there's a lot of the Koroks. They hide amongst all kinds of stuff. We are going to probably end up running into those randomly. Unless I know for a fact that there's one there, and then, you know, we'll go from there. And as I said, these rushrooms, I'm just telling you, get them. They come in handy. And, you know, if you usually can make it over there, you know, if you feel like you're getting weak, go to the side, because climbing up straight uses a lot of stamina, but going sideways uses a tad bit less. That's something else that I noticed. So if you ever find yourself struggling, or you think you're not going to make it somewhere and you happen to see a flat incline, take it. The beginning of the game, you really do want to be careful when you're doing stuff like this, because when you fall, you're going to die. I promise you will. And like I said, at the beginning of the game, it drove me nuts, because every time I got into certain fights, I lost, because I've got 3 friggin' hearts. I made it to the first version of Ganon, which is the Water Blight Ganon in the first Divine Beast, Varuta. And I had 3 hearts. What an idiot I was to think I was going to beat that guy with 3 hearts. Which is why we're not even going to face him until probably the 10th or 11th episode, however long it takes. Yeah. This is the Stasis Trial. Owa Diem, or Daim. We'll call him Oma Daim. Owa Daim, or Dam, or Daim. Don't mind me, I'm an idiot, I know. Now, this stuff that's happening right here with this little process of the things going into your Sheikah Slate, that's only on the isolated plateau. It is a bit long and aggravating, but like I said, this entire top part where you are here, all of this is an introductory. You will come on a point where you're going to use all of your runes in certain shrines. Certain shrines will require them, you know, and things like that. You are timed. Now, stasis takes the longest to recharge. If you notice, I have a lot of melee weapons, but I'm definitely getting rid of a stick. I don't even want that. I don't. Now, one thing I used to do when I first played the game, I kept a lot of useless stuff. Now, stasis is not only for freezing things in time. I'm going to show you the real reason stasis. Stasis uses kinetic energy. You freeze it. That energy builds up. When time stops, it's then redistributed. That comes in handy when you're fighting a whole squad of enemies and there's a big rock nearby, and you can freeze the rock with stasis and then build up energy. If the aim is true, you can send it directly at them. If there are bomb barrels in the path, you will blow the bomb barrels up, causing multiple bomb barrels to blow up and wipe out the least resilient of the enemies. And only the most resilient are going to be remaining, which usually in a group of bokoblins is like 2. But that's like further on in the game. At this point in the game, doing a move like that will take out everybody. I doubt that I've killed enough of them to upgrade yet. There hasn't even been a blood moon. Now, you can skip these. I usually do. I mean, I didn't in most of the guys because, like I said, I love Zelda. And the story's amazing. The story is very, very amazing. In this particular run, we're going to be doing a lot of things that I did not do. So we're going to be having a lot of first times together. There's going to be shrines that I have not found. There's going to be shrine quests I have not done. There's going to be captured memories. And also, when you do your captured memories, it does have influence on the cutscene at the very end of the game. The more captured memories you do, the longer the cutscene and the more, stuff that'll be. Now, don't try to go down here, because you're not going to make it. Okay? Okay. You have to go down a different way. You cannot do that here. I made that mistake. But, lucky for you, there's a path up here, and then it leads you down a nice, pretty straightforward, linear path. Where you don't die. Because that's what I did. multiple times. Oh boy, we have a problem. I'm not equipped for that yet. The temperature changed, and yeah. I don't have the doublet yet. So we're going to do this. This is how we're going to do this. I have to go hunting. Yeah. That wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to land on that little thing. The game rips you off sometimes. It really does. It rips you off sometimes. However, we can warp. So we actually could have avoided that completely. Like I said, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to try to be that guy. I am the Link Lord, but I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect Lord. But one thing I can tell you, I am awesome at this game. And that's why I'm making these videos. Because if you do it the way I'm doing it, you know, minus all the commentary, and you follow it like I'm not, you don't have to do it the exact way I'm doing it and follow it the exact way. But if you take your time and you explore and you get critters and elixirs, I promise you, you will experience this game to the fullest and you will have fun and it will be far less frustrating. I wish I had someone do what I'm doing, and I'm sure that there's somebody, that did make a walkthrough of it. Game's been out for 2 years. I just don't know if they really emphasized on the value, of certain things that you can do in the beginning of the game that really influence your gameplay toward the middle of the game. Now, these little wooden crates also, they contain little things too, like arrows and stuff like that inside of them. But I've also come to learn that a lot of the times it's a waste. I'll just dip an arrow in it and burn it. But like I said, develop a habit of exploring, develop a habit of collecting critters, develop a habit of going for towers in every region, because that's one of the first things you're going to want to get out of the way, because that unlocks the whole map. And this game isn't mission oriented. You can play it literally any way you desire to. You can, if you when you beat the plateau, you can literally go for Ganon right then and there. It's suicide, but you can do it. So that was the Stasis Shrine Trial. I will see you guys on the 3rd episode. I hope you enjoyed. I am the Link Lord, and you have a pleasant night.